I mean, as much as I would like to be able to sing a section where I sound like Slipknot or something like that, or I would like to be able to scream that way, but I can't. I can only sing the way I can sing, but in a way, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because that makes it hard for us to get signed by a legitimate record label because they kind of just want every band to sound the same, and if you don't sound like everyone else, they don't want you. But at the same time, what ends up working if you stick with it is sounding different. And my voice definitely does not sound anything like anyone else in all the modern rock bands. So
I agree.
I still think that's a better thing.
Yeah.
But it's confusing to record labels because they're like, oh, you don't sound exactly like anyone else. So who do we categorize you as? But any band that's ever made it really big made it because of that. And every one of those bands always had a hard time getting a record deal because they sounded different, because the singer didn't sound like everyone else. So, I mean, we probably would have done really well if we like stuck with it, but now we're going to stick with it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since our primary goal is TV, film, and soundtracks and video game music, it really doesn't matter how old we get as long as we make badass music.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Definitely, yeah. Oh,
I mean, in the 70s and even the 80s, everyone was trying to outdo each other. Like, nobody wanted to use the exact sound of someone other band. They were like, oh, let's use a different kick and snare sample. Let's have a different effect on our guitar. Let's, do something different with the vocals. And in the 70s, everyone was trying to be different. I mean, yeah, maybe bands were maybe similar, but they would like rent a castle and the band would go and record there and they would invent a whole new snare drum sound. Now everyone is okay with using the same Superior Drummer or Steven Slate preset when they're producing the song, the same Fractal or Neural DSP guitar plugin for the same heavy sound with the same, guitar tuning, and just trying to like do it the way that was already done to save time because they don't have the budget.
You've worked with a lot of different people.
It's
That's
because
kinda
I'm a drummer who was well respected in the underground in LA, and because I also had a recording studio so I was, before everyone could do it on computers and stuff, I had a lot of gear so I could get involved in that. And I even left out a whole nother connected wrinkle to the whole situation. It's just because I had friends and they knew I was good at stuff. But one of the things that I left out was after I quit Beautiful Creatures in 2000, after doing 3 shows opening for Kiss, I quit the band on the way home from playing 3 shows for Kiss in 2000, and came home and I produced my own demo as Odyssey and the New Revolution. And my first song that I released just as myself as Odyssey was on a Cleopatra Records Styx tribute album.
Yeah, I've listened to that. Too much time, right?
And that was Too Much Time was a remake of
Yeah.
and that was just me doing everything. And that was the template of the idea that I thought, you know what? I can be a singer and I can do my own shit. And that was the song that I experimented with to see if I could do it. And I snuck it in on that record because I was producing the record with a bunch of rock guys for Cleopatra. And they asked for a remix. And I said, oh yeah, I'll do a remix of Too Much Time. But instead of doing a remix, I snuck in a cover with me singing. And they liked it, so they didn't argue with it. And so that's how I kind of like started my whole thing. And then I made some demos for some songs that we used as A2 because Kyle was working with Sins of a Divine Mother like for a year as an idea before I got involved. And during that time, I was working with an Israeli DJ. And we decided to do this thing called A2 because his name was Avi and my Hebrew name because I'm half Jewish, was Avram, which means Avi. And so we took A2 and we decided to we were going to do like a electronic duo kind of project. And he was actually talking with the guys from Crystal Method about helping us with that project. We got as far as even like having Crystal Method hear some of the stuff we were working on. And the original version of Living Without You, we had done Avi and I did an electronic version of that was completely different and nobody ever heard it. I don't even have a copy of it. And I was working on that in Kyle's basement. And that's what made Wiley want to work with me, because of what I was doing with that song Too Much Time. And on that song Too Much Time, the guitar solo is Wiley played all the guitars on that Too Much Time song.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the ripping, crazy, insane guitar solo is Wiley playing. And the very first version of Nothing to Lose was a completely different version that sounded more electronic, more like a Depeche Mode or something. And that was what Jay from Orgy heard, and he goes, holy shit, this guy knows how to mix. And then that made, Wiley want to work with me.
What about Down in the Park by Frontal Boundary? You worked on that?
Yeah, that happened because I met a guy named Sean Dever who had...
Down in the Park is a Gary Newman cover, by the way.
Yeah, I worked with him, and he got hired by the Frontal Boundary guys to do that song, and he suggested me singing on it. I didn't like the mix that he did of it, because the music was recorded way cooler than what the final version came out. It sounded a little bit washed out, but that was really, really cool. I loved doing that. And Sean Dever, actually the guy who did that mix for Frontal Boundaries, we actually had him do a mix of 2 Mona Lisa Overdrive songs, the song New World being one of it. And we ended up not liking it because what we didn't like about it is he was mixing it to sound like every other rock band that was out. It had that same kick and snare sound that every band and their dog has and so we said that we didn't like it, basically. Because it took away the energy of what we had. And that's where we decided we wanted to, if we were going to use someone, we'd use Sean Bevan, because he's just more keenly aware of how to get that energy, because he's, he kind of invented Nine Inch Nails sound. So he's not going to screw it up and make it sound like we're Breaking Benjamin or something.
Yeah.
Before anyone wanted to work with me and doing anything, I just decided, since I had that cover song of the Styx song that Wiley had played on, I decided to just make my own thing. And at the time, MySpace was huge. I had a massive following on MySpace myself. And so I had put up that song and some other songs that I had done as demos. You Lie.
Ooh,
Demo of Odyssey and the Revolution. And there was I had done a remix song of called Untied We Strand.
Yes.
One of the features at the Los Angeles Recording School. I remixed one of his trance group songs where I put vocals on it myself. And so I put all those up on MySpace as A2, whereas A2 didn't really have any songs that were recorded. They were all my demos of Odyssey and the Revolution. Until the only song that was ever recorded specifically for A2 was Chosen One, off of the idea that Kyle helped me do an A2 page along with a Sins of a Divine Mother page on MySpace. All the stuff that was on the A2 page that got us basically we had like 250,000 followers, and we decided to do Living Without You. We decided to come put up another page, so we did a Mona Lisa Overdrive page on MySpace, and when we did Living Without You and did that video, our MySpace page, we had 250,000 followers. We were getting 1,800 plays a day, and the song Living Without You was #1 on the industrial chart, on the alternative unsigned rock chart. We were #1 on 3 unsigned charts on MySpace, and we were getting record deal offers from small labels, and we even got offered to open for Gary Newman in Houston. But we didn't even have a band, so we didn't know what to say, you know? But we were basically super famous on MySpace. And when MySpace died, that really fucked everything up for us. It made me depressed.
Oh yeah, the great data wipe. Fucking hell.
Yeah, MySpace, I mean, MySpace had stayed around, the band we would have gotten a major label record deal and a bunch of money, because people were after us, you know, at the time. We were #1. We were like very, very popular. Getting 1,800 plays a day is really hard to do on any sort of platform now without paying for advertising. But there was no weird algorithms blocking anything on MySpace. So MySpace was very organic and authentic in terms of, like, if a fan liked you, they could like you. You didn't have to pay money or go through any gatekeepers to get popular. So we were able to do something good and have a bunch of people hear it and like it.
Have you played Shadow the Hedgehog before?
I have. Actually, the one that I played, was Shadow, because I had that on my, I still have a copy of that game for my old Xbox.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
But I haven't played it since it came out, really.
Is there any more, like, lost tracks that we don't know of? Or is it most of it out already?
There was there was another mix of Broken called, I think it's listed as Broken Heart in some places.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where that came from. But
I mean, mixes. Yeah, there's probably more demo songs of Sins of a Divine Mother than what.
There is a demo of Complicate Me that can be found on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And as far as like all the rest of the stuff, there is another version of Nothing to Lose that I did that's got almost no guitars. It's almost completely electronic, and it's really, really good, and it's different.
What would your advice be for, like, upcoming musicians? Like, what would you say?
And that's a trick. Well, first of all, you have to love what you're doing, and you have to want to do it not for money, just because you love it.
Yeah.
And like, I would be famous 10 times over if I didn't let my emotions get in my way. So my other suggestion is a body in motion stays in motion. So if you have momentum going, don't ever quit just because you disagree with something. If anything you have has momentum and can be getting going, keep going with it. Even if you're not totally happy with it, keep going with it until you get your name out there. And once you get your name out there, then you can actually do whatever you want later. You know, everything doesn't have to be perfect right now, because the cream will rise to the top in the end. And had I not quit every single band I was in over like a personal dispute over the style or some other kind of bullshit, I could have gotten my name known, like, to the real world, not just in the underground. And then I could have left the band later and had them, you know, support to do what I want. So quitting something that's going well is a bad idea. But also, just stick with your dream, but allow yourself to do something that's not perfect to get where you need to go. And don't take it personal.
All right. So, what are your top 3 albums so we can have a listen to
Or
them?
top 5 albums of all time.
Top 5 albums. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Of all time.
All time.
Wow, that's interesting. Dang.
Maybe top 3.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd have to say 2 of them are Depeche Mode records. One is Depeche Mode Ultra, and the other one is Depeche Mode Playing the Angel.
Okay.
Were both produced by the same guy. And man, that's a top 9-inch. Dang.
Ooh.
I have to throw a 9-inch Nails record in there. But that's a tough one to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
It would either be Pretty Hate Machine or The Fragile.
Very
Yeah,
good albums. Very good albums.
The Fragile is really good.
Yeah.
It's just because The Fragile had such a crazy variety of styles on it. You know, it's 2 albums in one. And I think that was his personal masterpiece, but the sales didn't do as well as he wanted it. It was kind of a disappointment for him.
Do you have any other?
So,
what are the other 2?
Oh, as far as albums, favorite albums, damn, man,
What?
of all
Maybe.
time, those 2 Depeche Mode records, albums that I've listened to, we're running out, but I have to say, because albums that I've listened to like insanely over and over and over and over and over again, probably Duran Duran, their album that had like Save a Prayer and Girls on Film and all that kind of shit, and Rio. I was a huge Duran Duran fan.
That's fair.
Much like a lot of guys in heavy metal were just like how they did, I think Fear Factory did Save a Prayer. It's hard because I was also really into Howard Jones and Thomas Dolby. I'm gonna do a practice video to show drummers how I practice. I'm gonna start shooting sort of like drum videos for Instagram and YouTube. I'm gonna do like a drum channel, and I'm gonna show people how I use music instead of a click for practicing, so that I can program my brain to get into the idea that what you're doing has to relate to music, not to like some click track, you know? It's better to practice to real music and try to make all your drum exercises, even though they're boring exercises, to try to make them feel like they're a part of a song when you're practicing, so that everything has like energy and emotion in it. Because that's how I do producing, and that's how I do singing, and everything that I do, I try to get emotion and a real connection with whoever's playing everything involved. Like if I'm producing or writing, and even with myself, you know, I won't just sit there and mechanically record my vocals like I'm some sort of studio musician, and I won't let Kyle or anybody else. Well, I don't usually have to tell Kyle because he's a natural at it, but if I was sitting there, like if we were working on a, let's say a new Mona Lisa Overdrive song, and let's say Shane came in to record the guitars, and he sits down, and I don't know if you guys have ever watched the behind the scenes of like a lot of the heavy bands that are out right now, and you watch them recording their record, and the guitar player will just be sitting there really quietly looking at his guitar playing this massively heavy part, and he's just barely moving, just sitting on the couch in the recording studio. I'll never allow anyone to do that. If there's a section in a song and it's a heavy section, I absolutely, as my production style as a producer, I will make the guitar player stand up, and I will make them move their body exactly physically as aggressive as how the sound sounds. If their body does not look like it matches the sound coming out of the guitar, I'm going to be like making them do it again. Because everyone known who's great and has done anything cool has done it that way. Wiley, when he plays guitar, when he's playing guitar, those parts that you would hear on that stuff sounds aggressive and violent. But if I had video of him playing the guitar, you would almost be scared watching him play the guitar because it looks like he's gonna kill the guitar. And if he's on the guitar, he's gonna like punch you in the face.
That's how you play a guitar.
Yeah. And all the way back, and maybe it came from working with Tommy Thayer, who went on to be in Kiss in Shake the Faith, is that when we had rehearsals with Shake the Faith, we would videotape our rehearsals. And then the band would watch the rehearsal afterwards, and Tommy and Dave, they would criticize everyone in the band if they didn't look like badass rock stars. And if when something hit, it didn't look like the band was like in sync with the vibe of the music, you had to physically look like that. And so I was in a band for like 2 years where we analyzed our physical movement, and I realized how important that was. And I always did everything like that ever since. And I even made the guys in Three Penny Needle do that. And our guitar player in Three Penny Needle was one of the best guitar players I've ever played with in my life. But the singer and the bass player had a problem with that. They weren't moving their bodies correctly. But the guitar player was. He was just like insane. He was the kind of guy who, after he got done playing guitar, sometimes would like set his guitar on fire or smash it against the wall or some crazy shit like that. I got used to, but he was also the best sounding one. So I just got it in my head that if your body doesn't match it, you're not really world-class badass. You're just doing the thing. But everyone I ever witnessed with my own eyes who had that full connection with the emotion in their movement, there was always something more about their performance on the recording, to where when you hear it, you could picture that sound. And when I hear heavy music these days, to me, I don't know if everyone else can hear it. It sounds heavy. Everyone's using the same kick and snare samples, but to me, I can almost see the guitar player sitting on a couch. It sounds too controlled and like mechanical. And I can see that the drummer didn't even play. Maybe it was programmed, or all his sounds were re-triggered. It's like, I can hear the difference. And that's why, like, for example, Slipknot records have more aggression than any of the other modern bands, is because Slipknot is playing on their fucking records. The drummer is playing a mic'd drum kit. And I don't even know if they used click tracks on all the early Slipknot records. But to this day, Slipknot still sounds heavier than everyone else because they're actually playing with aggression on their music, you know? Mm-hmm. And it comes through in the recording. That's why they're bigger than everyone else.
It's getting pretty late. We've covered a lot of material. But yeah, thanks, Daniel. Skarga and I did want to say that your songs helped us out through hard times in our lives. I think we told you that last time we met. And I've seen comments on the Chosen One videos and stuff like that, saying that the song has helped them through some hard times as well. And I just want to say, thanks for the music you make, and even though it's pretty obscure by most standards, it has kind of a cult following with people, and I'd love to see you become big again through and among Sonic the Hedgehog fans and stuff like that, and I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'll say something as well. I mean, it was an honor to meet you today, Daniel. So. Yeah, it was pretty cool to talk to you today. So
I want to thank you guys, because I can say, if it wasn't for Max and the interest, the people that he's introduced me to, I don't think I would be putting the effort into making this happen. But the fact that I am made aware that I can do something that helps people makes me feel like I have almost like a responsibility to not waste that ability, because I see so much crappy music being made and so much music that doesn't connect with people, that I feel like I feel like the way that music is produced a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of the hard rock music, it's produced so anesthetized that it's not even that much different than AI music in the first place. And that when someone makes music where they force themselves to be fully connected to the message, that's how you make a song that can make a difference in people's life. And I feel like if I had put the effort into making the project be what it should have been, I could have saved more people from trouble. And that it's almost something that I should be ashamed of, because of what I've been able to do without even putting any effort into it, just by allowing it to organically, obscurely somehow still be of interest to people. And if I put that much effort into it and it did that much for people, how much more could have I done to help people if I actually would have really consistently tried over a 10-year period? And then when I think about that, I know the answer and I feel ashamed of myself, and I owe it to you guys for bringing that to light and making me have a wake-up call and take on the responsibility of making the most out of a gift that I was given. I feel like that it's my responsibility to do something more with it than I've done, and I owe that all to you guys. And that anything that we do moving forward is 100% motivated by our fans and listeners from YouTube of Chosen One. I mean, the whole reason why I even give a shit about doing it, and even Kyle, we're doing it for you guys, is what we're doing it for. Like, we owe it to you guys for believing in us for so long.